A little while ago, I made a video that was going over the entire timeline of Call of Duty, because if you didn't know, Call of Duty made essentially a cinematic universe that includes a bunch of the main titles and recent titles, including the new Modern Warfare trilogy, as well as all of the old Black Ops games, and some other games smattered in there as well. However, there was a few games that felt left out. 3 of those being the original Modern Warfare trilogy. And what I wanted to do is make a separate video so that they could feel a little bit included. So in this video, what we're going to be doing is going over the entire timeline of the original Modern Warfare trilogy. So yeah, it's a different story than the current one. It's the original one. I love this story. I've been looking forward to making this video. And if you like these type of timeline videos, you can show me by simply hitting that like button. And the more likes these videos get, the more likely I am to do them. And I could do them with a lot of things, other games, or even specifically other characters. For example, the full timeline of Frank Woods or Alex Mason or something along those lines. So if you enjoy this type of thing, want to see more videos like these timeline videos, be sure to hit that like button. But without further ado, this is the full timeline of the original, the OG Modern Warfare trilogy. So the Modern Warfare story actually begins well before the events of the game, taking place after some real world events. On April 26, 1986, the Chernobyl disaster occurs. And if you don't know what this is, basically it was the explosion of the number 4 reactor of the Chernobyl nuclear power plant. This of course taking place in the north of the Ukrainian SSR, which at the time was part of the Soviet Union. Which when we fast forward to December 26, 1991, after the end of the Soviet-Afghan War, we start to see the Soviet Union dissolve. This is going to be incredibly important because a lot of people in Russia very strongly disagreed with that, one of which being a person by the name of Imran Zakhaev. And taking it into his own hands, or hand as you're going to see, he goes out and decides to be a weapons dealer working for Russia behind the scenes to once again try to take over. Now, in winter of 1996, so around 5 years later, we see the British government order the assassination of Imran Zakhaev, and they send 2 operators, one of Captain Macmillan and John Price. They are sent to deal with Imran Zakhaev. They are sent into Pripyat, and this is, of course, after the fact of the Chernobyl disaster. So they are sent into this radioactive area where Imran Zakhaev is working on a weapons deal currently involving some nuclear material. And when they get there, they set up a sniper's nest and go to work. They take a shot, but it misses. It shoots Imran Zakhaev in the arm, him losing his arm. But luckily, 2 people by the name of Yuri and Vladimir Makarov are waiting in a getaway car, and Imran Zakhaev manages to escape. Now on this mission, Captain Macmillan ends up getting wounded, but Captain Price is able to help him out, and they are both able to get to safety. Now one thing that people may not know about this timeline is from the year 2001 to 2011, Makarov was working behind the scenes to quite literally cause terror. In 2001, Makarov bombs a Moscow city bus, as well as detonates bombs in Piccadilly Circus. This is different than what we saw in the current Modern Warfare timeline. He destroys oil tankers in the Mediterranean Sea. He robs banks, hijacks cruise ships, and even rigs explosives in Moscow at a soccer stadium before the government stops it and says that there's a pipe burst and prevents the match from happening, and therefore Makarov doesn't detonate the bombs. Now you may be wondering why he's doing this and why he's doing this to Russia. That is because behind the scenes, 4 horsemen are working together, creating a party called the Russian Ultra-Nationalist Party, led by none other than Imran Zakhaev. The reason for this is to cause the Second Russian Civil War between the Russian government loyalists, in other words, Russia, and the ultra-nationalists, the rebels who believe that the Soviet Union still should be a thing. This triggers the events of Modern Warfare 1, or Call of Duty 4. Now, this takes place in the year 2011. Now, we don't have exact dates as the day is labeled Day 0, but at this point, Sergeant Soap McTavish impresses Captain John Price through the CQB course. This is when he is joined and starts to work alongside Captain Price.
Right. What the hell kind of name is Soap, eh? How'd a muppet like you pass selection?
The next day, Soap and Price, along with a small SAS team, are sent into the Bering Sea, which is carrying some sort of nuclear material from the ultranationalists to someone by the name of Khalid al-Assad, which by the time they get to that nuclear material, the ship is then sunk by a Russian attack. Now, at the same time, Khalid al-Assad takes over a Middle Eastern country backed by Imran Zakhaev. And what they do is perform a coup d'etat where they assassinate President Yasser al-Fulani. In the next day, Captain Price, Gaz, and Soap McTavish infiltrate some mountains within Russia where they rescue their informant from the inside by the name of Nikolai. He is currently being held by the ultranationalist forces. It is at this time that all of them, including Nikolai, are shot down by a SAM missile, and with the help of an AC-130, they manage to reach extraction. It is at the same time that US Marine forces are sent into the country that is being, at the time, led by Khalid al-Assad. They include Sergeant Griggs, Paul Jackson, Vasquez, and they track Khalid al-Assad down to a TV station. However, as it is found out, this is a little bit of a trap because Khalid al-Assad isn't there whatsoever. Now, a group of Marines work their way through the capital city in a mission called Operation War Pig. Now, at this point, they are surrounded and they work on extraction, and eventually they do. Yet, at the same time, Yuri watches on as Vladimir Makarov detonates a nuclear device from Khalid al-Assad's safe house, just outside of the blast radius. When he does so, he detonates and kills 30,000 Marines who were all sent in by General Shepard. Now, just one day later, Task Force 141 locates Khalid al-Assad. And at this point, they don't realize Khalid al-Assad is working with Imran Zakhaev. However, during an interrogation, let's just say Captain Price takes care of that.
Who? Give me a name. A name. I want his name.
Sir, it's his cell phone. Who was that, sir?
Zakhaev. Imran Zakhaev.
Now, 8 hours after Khalid al-Assad's death, ultranationalist forces attack the kind of village where the SAS operatives are. However, it gets dicey, but the Marines end up moving in and allow the SAS and the Marines to escape the area. However, now knowing that Imran Zakhaev is working alongside Khalid al-Assad, who is now deceased, they move their attention to not Imran Zakhaev, but rather his son, Viktor Zakhaev. They end up tracking him down, and, well, we all know how this one ends.
So, take his weapon and restrain him. You've got nowhere to run!
Все равно все скоро сдохнут.
Now, at this point, needless to say, Imran Zakhaev is not very happy, and he provides them with an ultimatum. Either the US and British forces leave Russia, or he is going to perform another nuclear attack. However, the US and the British forces have a little bit of information on Imran Zakhaev. They know exactly where he is planning on launching these ICBMs with nuclear devices from, and they break into the facility, eventually working their way through the missile silos and stopping the attack from ever happening. However, Imran Zakhaev is in the facility at the time, so by the very end, there's kind of this chase throughout the mountains where eventually they end up getting stopped on a bridge. However, at this point, it seems as though the ultranationalists now have the upper hand, and as Imran Zakhaev's walked down the bridge towards Soap McTavish, fire is going on, but they have one last trick up their sleeve, an M1911 that Captain Price keeps on him. But Captain Price is injured, and when he does, he grabs his weapon, slides it over to Soap McTavish, and well, Soap takes care of the rest. Now, it is between the year 2011 and 2013 that General Shepard takes over command of not just the Navy SEALs, Rangers, but also the British SAS, putting them all together into something called Task Force 141. People such as Soap McTavish, John Price, and someone new by the name of Ghost all joined together, aka Simon Riley. It is also at this time where we see the origin story of Simon Ghost Riley through his comics. He infiltrates a hostage situation in a school in Ukraine and manages to save the hostages, while also telling his origin story about Manuel Roba, as well as how he, became a ghost. It is also at this time where Vladimir Makarov takes over Imran Zakhaev's post as his protege and now the leader of the Russian ultra-nationalist party. And with this, Task Force 141 plans an operation by the name of Kingfish, where John Price, Simon Ghost Riley, Soap McTavish, and Gary Roach Sanderson, a new operator, are sent in to go in and take out Vladimir Makarov. However, this turns out to be a trap, and in doing so, Soap McTavish gets wounded, and John Price, Captain Price, ends up getting captured and sent to a gulag. Also, I couldn't really show that very well because for some reason this cutscene is copyrighted and whoever made it makes it so I can't put it on my channel, so you'll just have to deal with still images from that one. We then go to the year 2016. At this point, Imran Zakhaev is a martyr, and all of Russia is now starting to back the ultra-nationalists. In fact, even a statue is constructed in his memory, hailing him as the hero of Moscow. Now, it is at this time when a new soldier by the name of Joseph Allen moves into a town in Afghanistan, taking the area from the enemies, and by the very end, General Shepard is impressed and handpicks Joseph Allen to be reassigned to the CIA. The day after, we see our new captain, Captain John Soap McTavish, alongside a new soldier by the name of Gary Roach Sanderson. They are in a mountain range in Kazakhstan where they are searching for a satellite ACS module, which fell into some hands of some Russians. They worked their way through a snowstorm, eventually planting C4 throughout the base, and upon finding the module, they end up having to use that C4 and eventually manages to escape using snowmobiles. Now, remember how we were talking about Joseph Allen? Just one day later, on August 12th, 2016, we move to Zakhaev International Airport. You see, Joseph Allen, working for the CIA, was sent undercover to work alongside Vladimir Makarov. Now, they all do this under the direction of Yuri, who we saw earlier and is working with Makarov, but realizes the bad things that he's doing. But Makarov figures this all out, shoots Yuri in the parking garage, and then knows that Joseph Allen, or as he's disguised as Alexei Borodin, was sent in and embedded by the CIA. So they pull out this attack on Zakhaev International Airport, which, if you guessed it, was named after Imran Zakhaev. And by the very end, Vladimir Makarov, being a step ahead, shoots Alexei Borodin, or Joseph Allen, and leaves him behind, making it look like the people behind this attack were none other than American, causing World War III. Now, at this time, Task Force 141 hears word about a Russian informant inside a Russian gulag who has information on Vladimir Makarov and the ultra-nationalists, and he is known by the codename Prisoner 627. So Task Force 141 is sent into the gulag to retrieve this prisoner, and when they get there, they are greeted with a very welcome surprise.
Drop it!
Soap? Price? This belongs to you, sir. Who's Soap?
Come on! We gotta get out of here! Move!
Bravo 6, be advised. They started the bomb.
Now, after Soap McTavish gives Captain Price his M1911 back, Price is back on the job. Now, in response to all of this, Russia is now out to get America, and the attacks start to begin. They are sent in directly into Washington, where the US Navy SEALs, along with the US Army Rangers, are forced to defend the United States. And in this alone, an EMP is sent in, crushing the US Army, and the Russian military is able to move in. But here is the thing. The whole America getting caught thing was actually General Shepard's plan in the beginning, because now that they are at war, he essentially has a blank check to do whatever he wants with. And his job is now to stop the war. And in doing so, he has so much money he can hire his own people, including Shadow Company, to try to stop this. Here's the thing, Makarov also knew what was going on. On August 15th, 2016, Roach and Ghost are then sent into one of Makarov's safe house to find some intel that he has on a DSM. And they work their way up to this kind of chateau, cottage, whatever you want to call it, and they find this DSM. And when they're finally getting extracted and everything seems to be going horribly, General Shepard shows up to save the day. Here's the thing, he wasn't there to save the day. He was there to take the intel and bury the information, because now he was completely safe, because now he had all this money to wage war with, and on top of this, the evidence of his betrayal had now been covered up.
You have the DSM.
We got it, sir!
Good. That's one less loose end.
Area is sanitized. All targets destroyed. Solid copy. No movement detected. 2-6 going into holding pattern. Girls! Come in! This is Price! We're under attack by Shepard's men in the boneyard! Sir, hold the left flank! Do not trust Shepard! I say again, do not trust Shepard! Sir, get down!
But here's the thing, we still have a couple people working together. Captain Price, Soap McTavish, and on top of that, Nikolai are all in a boneyard, and they have a conversation with Makarov where he says, "The enemy of thy enemy is now my friend." And he actually gives us, the good guys, Captain Price, information as to where General Shepard is hiding, somewhere by the name of Hotel Bravo. And with this information given out, Vladimir Makarov goes into hiding, and Captain Price and Soap McTavish go in and hunt down General Shepard. They get sent into Hotel Bravo, and by the very end, they end up chasing down and finding General Shepard. They chase him down, there's a whole sequence, just like we had at the end of Call of Duty 4, but this time, we get to General Shepard. And when everything seems lost, Soap is extremely injured and just stabbed, and honestly, Shepard is beating the crap out of Price. We get the throwing knife. Now from here, Nikolai moves in with a little bird and manages to bring out Captain Price and Soap McTavish, even though Soap is very, very wounded. Now, one thing that I love about Modern Warfare 3 is it actually picks up right after the end of Modern Warfare 2 on the exact same day, August 17th, 2016. Now, it's at this time where Nikolai has to extract John Price and Soap McTavish, and they bring them to northern India as a chance to kind of heal up. And it is at this time where they are then attacked by some of Makarov's forces, obviously trying to hunt down the Task Force 141 members. However, they manage to escape and end up relocating to Africa of all places. It's at the same time though where Delta Force with Frost and Sandman are waging a war on Wall Street. They are fighting, once again, the Russian forces as they have put up a bunch of jammers and equipment in New York, and they have to obviously stop them. And they able to do so and eventually end up infiltrating a Russian submarine, which again, they end up stopping. Later in the year, on October 3rd, Russian President Boris Vorshevsky flies to Hamburg to negotiate a peace treaty with NATO. However, this is something that Makarov does not want, so his plane is hijacked by Makarov's ultra-nationalists and actually crashed. And well, this is what Makarov does.
Russia will take all of Europe, even if it must stand upon a pile of ashes. I want the launch codes, Mr. President.
Never get them.
Every man has his weakness. Find the girl.
He kills the entire security detail of the president and takes him and his daughter hostage, all in hoping to get nuclear launch codes from the president. Now, Makarov ends up getting his hands on some chemical weapons and leads out some attacks on major cities around the world, one of which is London, Paris, and these are absolutely devastating. He does this to then prompt the Russian invasion of these areas. Now, it is at this time where Task Force 141 is trying to figure out who is providing these weapons, and it starts with an interrogation of someone by the name of Worabi, an African arms dealer, who then gives them the information on who's supplying the chemical weapons, someone by the name of Volk. Sandman and Frost are then sent in to track down Volk, and they do so, interrogate him, and they give the intel as to where Makarov is to Price, Soap McTavish, and Yuri, and where they are sent is into Russian-invaded Prague. And when seemingly they finally have the upper hand, they have Vladimir Makarov, he's going to be in their sniper scope, everything is twisted on its head. Komarov is captured and killed, in fact, blown up. And on top of that, Makarov knew about Yuri and Yuri telling Soap and Price about everything, and basically Makarov is still one step ahead, and because of this, it leads to the demise of Soap McTavish.
Soap! Not now, Soap. Just rest. Get a medic! Come on, stay with me, son. Price. No. Soap! No! Soap! You have to go now! Get off me! I'm sorry.
Now, on October 13th and October 14th, what ends up happening is Nikolai contacts Sandman and Delta Force about what is going on with the Russian president's daughter, Alina Vorshevsky. Now, as far as she goes, she is being held in a Siberian diamond mine. So, Task Force 141 and Delta Force go in a joint operation to go in and save her. And that is exactly what they do. And upon saving her, the Russian president then realizes the bad guys aren't the Americans. The real bad guys are the ultra-nationalists, and specifically Vladimir Makarov. This event of saving his daughter is what puts an end to World War III. Task Force 141 becomes reinstated and is no longer held a prisoner of war due to what happened with General Shepard, and now they have one last thing to do: find and kill Vladimir Makarov. And the three people that do this are Captain Price, Yuri, and Nikolai. They go to an area called Hotel Oasis, which is the Arabian Peninsula. They track down Makarov to a specific building and work their way up to the top. And when they get there, Makarov and Captain Price have their final standoff.
Goodbye.
And this is what puts an end to the original Modern Warfare 3 trilogy. The one pulling all of these strings behind the scenes is none other than Vladimir Makarov. And when Captain Price finally takes him out, that puts an end to the original Modern Warfare story. So that is it. That is the entire timeline all the way up until January 1st, 2017, where the end of the story actually happens. Now, these videos take forever to put together, so if you enjoy them, be sure to hit that like button. It shows me you want to see more timeline videos like this one. And as always, thank you so much for watching. And until next time, peace.